What happens to your brain, spirit, and relationships when you stop watching porn for 90 days? Did you know that the average person begins watching pornographic content as young as 11 years old? That's right. Before many kids even fully understand what they're seeing, they're already exposed to explicit material shaping their perceptions of sex, intimacy, and relationships. Even more staggering, recent studies show that over 80% of men under 30 engage with porn on a weekly basis. This isn't just a casual pastime for most, it's a widespread, normalized habit deeply embedded in our digital age. But what if I told you that quitting porn for just 90 days could radically transform not only your body, but also your brain, spirit, and the very fabric of your relationships? What changes happen beneath the surface, often unnoticed, when you take that first brave step toward freedom? Before we dive into this life-changing journey, take a moment to hit that like button if you want to reclaim control over your mind. Share this video with someone who might be struggling silently with porn's grip. And don't forget to subscribe to join a community committed to growth, healing, and real talk. Also, drop a comment below telling me, what's the hardest part about quitting porn for you or someone you know? Your story matters. Introduction. Day 0. The harsh reality of quitting porn. Imagine this. Pornography isn't just a harmless escape or a personal secret. It's a powerful addiction that rewires your brain, fractures your spiritual well-being, and quietly tears apart your closest relationships. Experts in neuroscience and psychology alike warn that porn doesn't merely stimulate sexual desire. It hijacks the brain's reward system, creating cravings and compulsions remarkably similar to those caused by substances like cocaine or methamphetamine. Dr. Valerie Voon, a leading neuroscientist, emphasizes that chronic porn consumption leads to measurable changes in brain structure, including reduced gray matter volume in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for self-control and decision-making. What does this mean in everyday life? It means the more you watch, the more your brain craves bigger, more novel stimuli, pushing you down a dangerous spiral. Emotionally, many users report feeling numb, disconnected from their true feelings, or unable to form deep, meaningful bonds. Spiritually, porn can lead to a sense of emptiness or shame that eats away at self-worth and identity. Choosing to quit porn is no small feat. It's like stepping off a runaway train barreling at full speed. The withdrawal symptoms are very real: irritability, anxiety, mood swings, and intense cravings. But the other side of that train track is a profound transformation. Your brain's plasticity, the remarkable ability to rewire and heal itself, means recovery is possible. As Dr. Norman Doidge, author of The Brain That Changes Itself, explains, neuroplasticity allows the brain to form new pathways, restoring balance and clarity even after long-term addiction. Throughout this video, we'll unpack what happens at every critical milestone after quitting porn. From the challenging first 7 days, through the hopeful 30-day mark, the pivotal 60-day turning point, all the way to a life-altering 90 days and beyond. Real stories from men and women who've walked this path will highlight both the struggles and victories, backed by scientific evidence and expert analysis. This isn't just theory, it's a roadmap to reclaiming your brain, your soul, and your relationships. If you're ready to take back control, to revive your spirit, and to restore intimacy and trust in your relationships, smash that like button and share this video to spark a movement of freedom. Subscribe now to stay connected to this journey, and don't forget to comment below. Which stage are you on in your porn-free journey? Your voice could be the light someone else needs right now. Week 1. Detox and Spiritual Clarity, Days 1 through 7. Shocking truth. One of the most overlooked yet profoundly impactful aspects of pornography addiction is not the sexual excitement it triggers, but the intense feelings of shame, guilt, and secrecy that dominate the emotional landscape for most users. In fact, numerous surveys and clinical reports reveal that these negative emotions far outweigh the momentary pleasure many seek through porn. This emotional burden often becomes a hidden prison, trapping users in cycles of self-condemnation and isolation long before any physical craving takes hold. What happens during this first critical week? When you decide to quit porn, your brain and body immediately enter a detox phase, which can feel overwhelming and disorienting. You might notice an intense spike in feelings of guilt and moral conviction, as the brain's reward pathways that once found pleasure in pornographic stimuli suddenly go silent. This absence creates a powerful craving for dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of pleasure and motivation, leading to pronounced mood swings, irritability, fatigue, and even bouts of anxiety or depression. These symptoms are classic withdrawal signs, not unlike those experienced by individuals giving up nicotine or alcohol. Spiritually, many who quit report a surprising but profound experience, a fog lifting. This isn't just metaphorical. After years of numbing through escapism, the mind begins to clear, and a deeper awareness of one's inner state and spiritual needs emerges. It's a time when denial starts to fade, and honest self-reflection begins, often accompanied by a yearning for peace, purpose, and connection beyond fleeting physical pleasure. Scientific support. Neurologically, this week is critical. Research published in Frontiers in Psychology highlights how chronic pornography use impairs the prefrontal cortex, the brain region governing decision-making, impulse control, and long-term planning. When you quit porn, this area struggles to regain normal function, explaining the heightened impulsivity and emotional volatility during detox. Furthermore, dopamine withdrawal symptoms closely mirror those seen in substance addictions, like nicotine and alcohol, with similar patterns of craving and mood disruption documented in clinical studies. This scientific understanding reinforces that porn addiction is not merely a bad habit, but a genuine neurological condition requiring patience and care during recovery. Real-life example. Consider Jason, a 29-year-old who battled porn addiction for nearly a decade. He describes his first week without porn as feeling like a zombie, lost, irritable, and emotionally raw. "I was so used to escaping into a fantasy world every single day," he recalls. "Without it, I was forced to confront the real world, and more importantly, myself. It was terrifying, but also the first step toward freedom." Stories like Jason's are common. The initial detox is grueling, yet it's also the gateway to reclaiming authentic self-awareness and emotional resilience. Faith insight. For those who find strength in spiritual guidance, Psalm 32, verse 3-5, offers a powerful message. It acknowledges how secrecy breeds inner torment, but confession, openly admitting one's struggles, ushers in peace and healing. This spiritual truth resonates deeply during week 1 of quitting porn. Many individuals discover that sharing their burden with a trusted friend, counselor, or faith community can dramatically lessen the weight of shame, creating the first real breakthrough toward lasting freedom. This confession isn't about judgment, it's about liberation, giving voice to pain so it no longer controls you. This first week marks the pivotal beginning of detox and spiritual clarity. Though it's challenging, it is also the foundation upon which all future growth is built. Understanding the neuroscience, emotional complexity, and spiritual dimensions helps prepare you for what lies ahead and offers hope that transformation is truly possible. Week 4, Brain Healing and Emotional Reset, days 8 to 30. Surprising fact. What many don't realize is that your brain's capacity for healing begins surprisingly fast. Within just 3 weeks, your brain can start forging new neural pathways. This process, known as neuroplasticity, is the brain's incredible ability to rewire itself, allowing you to break free from the old patterns shaped by pornography addiction and build healthier mental and emotional habits. What happens during this period? By the time you reach days 8 through 30, a significant shift begins to occur in your mental and emotional landscape. Many individuals report that the overwhelming brain fog they experienced during the first week starts to clear. Suddenly, mental clarity returns, thoughts become sharper, and concentration improves. This is not just a placebo effect. It's a neurological reset as your brain's dopamine system begins to rebalance itself. Alongside clearer thinking, your energy levels start to stabilize. The wild ups and downs of mood swings give way to a more even emotional state. Anxiety diminishes, and depressive thoughts become less frequent, allowing you to experience a renewed sense of emotional balance. This emotional reset is crucial because it strengthens your ability to resist cravings and respond to stress with resilience rather than relapse. Spiritually, this phase often brings a deepening hunger for connection, not just with yourself, but with something greater. Many who embark on this journey report craving scripture, prayer, meditation, or simply quiet reflection. This spiritual hunger reflects the soul's innate desire to be whole and connected, filling the void left by the absence of pornographic escapism. Scientific backing. The spiritual dimension of this healing process is beautifully echoed in Romans 12:2, which talks about the renewing of your mind. Modern neuroscience supports this ancient wisdom through the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Dr. Norman Doidge, a pioneer in this field, has extensively documented how the brain can recover from addictions by strengthening new, healthier pathways and diminishing the old, destructive ones. This scientific insight offers hope and a roadmap. Change is literally built into the structure of your brain. Practical tip. Breaking free from porn is not just about stopping a behavior, it's about replacing it. Studies show that substituting addictive habits with positive routines like exercise, mindfulness meditation, or engaging hobbies dramatically improves success rates. Attempting to quit cold turkey without these supports often leads to relapse because the brain is still seeking those dopamine boosts. Real-life example. Take the story of a former Marine who shared his journey of recovery. Instead of spending his mornings trapped in the cycle of porn consumption, he committed to morning runs and daily Bible study. After just 30 days, he described his transformation. "I felt like I got my soul back. The fog lifted, and I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving." His story highlights how cultivating discipline and spiritual practices can create powerful, lasting change. This crucial 3rd to 4th week period is where the most profound shifts often begin to unfold. Your brain rewires, your emotions stabilize, and your spirit awakens. Understanding these changes helps you stay committed, knowing that healing is underway even if the journey feels challenging. Day 60. Relationship revival and sexual realignment. Days 31 to 60. Did you know? Long-term pornography use doesn't just affect your private moments. It fundamentally alters your brain's reward system. Specifically, it shrinks the ventral striatum, the area responsible for experiencing pleasure and reward. This neurological change has real consequences. Real-life intimacy, which once sparked joy and connection, starts to feel dull, flat, or even unrewarding. For many, the natural excitement of being with a partner is replaced by a vague sense of dissatisfaction, a numbness that undermines deep relationships. What happens during days 31 to 60? This phase is where true healing begins to manifest outwardly in your relationships. Emotional connections with loved ones deepen in a way that might feel unfamiliar after years of emotional numbing caused by porn. Instead of seeing others through a lens of objectification, a common effect of habitual porn use, you start to see people as whole beings with souls, emotions, and complexities. This shift is profound because it restores empathy and respect, the very foundations of any healthy relationship. Sexual attraction during this period also undergoes a remarkable realignment. The artificial stimulation of pornography fades from your brain's expectations, allowing genuine sexual desire to return, especially toward your spouse or romantic partner. What might have once felt mechanical or unsatisfying can regain warmth, intimacy, and emotional significance. Many report feeling more present and connected during intimacy, enjoying deeper satisfaction than they have in years. Scientific insight. A pivotal 2016 study from Cambridge University found that individuals with pornography addiction displayed significantly higher levels of desensitization to sexual stimuli. This means their brains respond less to sexual cues, requiring more extreme content to achieve the same dopamine surge, which unfortunately does not translate well to real-life intimacy. Another critical piece of research, published in the Journal of Sex Research, supports this by showing that porn users often report lower satisfaction in their real-life relationships and experience increased rates of infidelity, underscoring how porn use can undermine trust and fulfillment. Spiritual wisdom. From a spiritual perspective, the Bible's Hebrews 13:4 offers a poignant reminder. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. Pornography, even though it is consumed digitally, breaks this sacred covenant by distorting the intimate connection meant to be shared exclusively between partners. Recognizing this violation can be a powerful motivator for many seeking to restore purity and trust in their relationships. Real-life example. Consider the story of a married couple who decided to embark on a 90-day no-porn challenge together. Prior to this, their relationship had suffered from frequent arguments, emotional distance, and diminished intimacy. But after 60 days of abstinence, the husband reflected, "I saw her for who she truly was again, not just as a physical object, but as my partner, my friend, my soulmate." Their increased emotional closeness translated into more meaningful conversations, fewer conflicts, and a rekindled sexual bond. This example vividly illustrates how quitting porn can revive not only sexual desire, but also the emotional foundations of love and companionship. This stage is arguably one of the most rewarding in the entire recovery journey, where the abstract promise of healing becomes a lived, tangible reality in your relationships and your heart. Understanding the scientific, emotional, and spiritual dimensions empowers you to embrace this renewal fully. Day 90, confidence, clarity, and calling. Days 61 to 90. Jaw-dropping. Truth. One of the most remarkable findings from those who commit to a full 90-day porn abstinence journey is the profound transformation they experience, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Most men report a surge in confidence that they never imagined possible. They feel more productive in their daily lives, more socially courageous, and spiritually alive in ways that seemed unreachable before. This phase is not merely about abstaining, it's about rediscovering and reclaiming your true self. What happens during days 61 to 90? By this stage, your brain has had time to rewire significantly. The fog of addiction has lifted, leaving behind a clearer, sharper mind. Your sense of self-worth skyrockets as you no longer define yourself by harmful habits or shame. Emotional and spiritual sensitivity return in full force, allowing you to connect deeply with yourself and others. Many men describe an almost rebirth of their inner life, a renewed zest for living and an awakening of their core values and passions. What's truly fascinating is the emergence of what many call a calling or divine purpose. This is more than just career goals or vague dreams. It's a clear, compelling sense of why you're here and what you're meant to contribute to the world. This newfound clarity is often described as hearing a still, small voice within, guiding decisions and fueling motivation. Scientific evidence. Dr. Gary Wilson, a leading expert and author of Your Brain on Porn, has extensively documented the neurological benefits of quitting pornography. According to Wilson, those who abstain for extended periods experience increased motivation and social courage, a direct consequence of neural circuits healing and dopamine regulation normalizing. This reset also enhances goal clarity, focus, and overall life satisfaction. Neuroscience now confirms what spiritual traditions have long taught. Liberation from destructive patterns leads to empowerment. Romans 6:14 powerfully declares, "Sin shall no longer have dominion over you." This is not just theological rhetoric, it reflects a real brain reality. When your neural pathways are freed from compulsive behavior, you reclaim control over your actions, thoughts, and emotions. Real-life example. Take Michael, a former youth pastor who struggled for years with pornography addiction. After committing to a 90-day porn-free challenge, he described his experience as nothing short of miraculous. By the end of those 3 months, I had clarity like never before. It was as if the noise and distraction that clouded my mind were gone. I could finally hear God again, not just in church, but in my everyday life. My calling came into focus, and with it, a renewed sense of purpose and direction. His story exemplifies how quitting porn is not just about avoiding harm, it's about creating space for profound, personal, and spiritual growth. Spiritual takeaway. The Bible's 2 Timothy 2:21 resonates deeply with this journey. Therefore, if anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonorable, He will be a vessel for honorable use, set apart as holy, useful to the master of the house, ready for every good work. This scripture beautifully encapsulates the promise of day 90 and beyond. By cleansing yourself from the chains of pornography, you are preparing yourself to become an instrument for noble, meaningful purposes. This transformation isn't limited to religious faith alone. It's a universal truth that transcends belief systems. Removing destructive habits allows you to step into your fullest potential, whatever your background. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You are already on the path to freedom and transformation. Hit that like button if you're committed to going all the way to 90 days and beyond. Share this video with someone who needs this message. Don't forget to subscribe for more empowering content to support your journey. And comment below, what's the biggest change you've noticed or hope to notice when quitting porn? Conclusion: freedom is possible. Your transformation awaits. Let's take a moment to truly reflect and summarize the incredible journey you've just explored. This is more than a simple timeline or checklist. It's a roadmap to reclaiming the very essence of who you are. Week 1. You begin by shedding the heavy burden of guilt, shame, and secrecy that has weighed you down for far too long. This emotional detox is raw and often uncomfortable, but it's essential. Experts emphasize that acknowledging these feelings openly is the first critical step in rewiring your brain's addictive pathways and clearing the mental fog clouding your judgment and self-worth. This week is where your journey shifts from hiding to healing. Day 30. Around this time, something remarkable happens. Your brain fog begins to lift, clarity returns, and with it comes the restoration of genuine joy and motivation. Neuroscientists confirm that the brain's neuroplasticity enables this healing process, helping you regain control over dopamine responses that were previously hijacked by pornography. Psychologists also note that this period often brings renewed emotional stability, reducing anxiety and depressive thoughts that so commonly accompany addiction. Day 60. This is where the ripple effects start showing in your relationships and real-life intimacy. Long-term porn use desensitizes your brain's reward center, making genuine connection feel dull or unsatisfying. But as you continue your abstinence, you begin to reconnect deeply with loved ones. Emotional bonds strengthen and sexual attraction realigns, no longer clouded by fantasy but grounded in authentic love and respect. Relationship counselors often observe that couples who undergo this journey together report fewer conflicts and heightened intimacy. Day 90. Finally, at this milestone, you stand taller, confident, clear-minded, and spiritually awakened. This is more than just a victory over addiction. It's a full restoration of your identity, purpose, and calling. Thought leaders and spiritual teachers alike affirm that this stage represents a powerful reclaiming of your true self, free from chains. The words of 1 Corinthians 10:13 ring true here. No temptation is insurmountable, and with divine strength, freedom is not only possible, but promised. Deep reflection and final encouragement. This journey isn't simply about quitting a destructive habit. It's about reclaiming your life, your identity, your relationships, and your divine purpose. It's a profound transformation that touches every corner of your being: mental, emotional, spiritual, and relational. Remember, the battle against addiction can feel isolating, but it's vital to understand you are never alone. Countless others have walked this path and emerged victorious. The key lies in community and accountability. Research consistently shows that those who engage with supportive groups or accountability partners have significantly higher success rates. Simple yet powerful steps to begin your freedom journey. Today 1. Confess. Speak your struggle aloud to yourself, a trusted friend, or a mentor. Breaking the silence and secrecy is the first powerful act of reclaiming control. 2. Community. Surround yourself with support. Whether it's an online group, a local support circle, or an accountability partner, connection is essential. 3. Replace. Build positive, soul-nourishing habits that fill the void. Prayer, exercise, reading scripture, fasting. These practices strengthen your mind, body, and spirit, reducing cravings and increasing resilience. 4. Pray. Seek daily strength and deliverance from God or whatever higher power you believe in. Spiritual surrender is a source of peace and empowerment that science and faith both recognize as transformative. You were never made to be defined by pixels on a screen or trapped by cycles of addiction. You were made for more, for meaningful purpose, deep intimacy, and authentic love that transcends momentary pleasure. So here's your final call to action. Like this video if you're ready to take control of your life. Share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Subscribe for ongoing guidance and support. And most importantly, comment below. What's the next 90 days going to look like for you? How will you take the first step toward the freedom you deserve? Remember, your transformation starts with one decision. Will you make that decision today?